Saturdays, September 10th, 1983. Praying in the upper room, the old Church on the Way sanctuary in Van Nuys, California. Usually, I could pray an hour or so, but this morning, I could not. I couldn't focus. As I walked down the stairs, I cried out to the Lord, I just want to overcome. I am so sick of me. I'm sick of Satan. I'm tired. I just want to overcome. Towards this baby grand piano, I found a musical. And they overcame Satan by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimonies, and they lived not their lives to the end. Revelations 12:11 knocked me to my knees. I realized God was intervening at that very moment with his own words. It was a revelation of revelation. I took communion and I left for work. A Christian friend and I worked together as house painters. That day, I wore my shades inside so he could not see my tears. After work, my friend dropped me off at Carl's Jr. next to Universal Studios because it was a short walk to the house. I went all the way to the back and sat against the wall and prayed silently, Lord, I just want to overcome. Suddenly, a disheveled man who seemed like a vagrant jumped up and shouted, we've got to get out of here. And he grabbed his stuff and he just took off. I put my hands over my mouth and whispered, I plead the blood of the Lamb. The man cried out, we've got to get out of here. He fled the building, throwing the glass doors open violently. It was a wonder he didn't break them. People in the restaurant laughed and pointed. I sat stone still, feeling shocked like I was in a dream. I couldn't sleep that night. I tossed and turned and played the day over and over in my mind. And I prayed and prayed. I slept through my alarm so I did not hear my friend come to the door for church. So I had to take off in a hurry and catch a bus. A few stops down, the same man jumped on the bus, in the same clothes, ranting and railing as before. Again, I prayed, I plead the blood of the Lamb. And once again, he cried out, and he ran off the bus. He ran through traffic, narrowly escaping being hit by a car. I felt sorry for him, and again, I felt stunned and like I was in a dream. Since I was at the later service, and the sanctuary was packed, Pastor Jack Hayford was preaching on spiritual warfare. At one point in the sermon, he stopped and he said, someone here has had an experience in the last day or so about the blood of the Lamb. I want everyone to close your eyes. I want to pray for that person. Will you please raise your hands? Then Pastor Hayford said for that person to raise both and praise the Lord for his authority. At that moment, I felt a surge of power pass from above my head to the soles of my feet and then back up out of my body. All this in a split second. And for a moment, it was like a dream. Then someone touched my shoulder. It was a lady sitting behind me, and she said, I knew it was you. After church, I caught the bus going back home. A few stops down the road, the same man got on the bus. It's worth saying that these bus stops were very long and far apart from one another. And as much as I rode the bus, I almost never saw the same people again and again. Los Angeles and Van Nuys is a big place. Once again, the man said, if you believe in that garbage, why don't you just hang yourself? I whispered, this time in my hands, Satan, be still. The man grew instantly quiet, moved and sat directly across the aisle from me, put his hands in his lap, and rode the bus home like a child riding home from school. In a couple of stops, he got off the bus, and I never saw him again. The 72 returned with joy and said, Lord, even the demons submit to us in your name. And he replied, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. I have given you authority to trample on snakes and scorpions and to overcome all the power of the enemy. Nothing will harm you. However, do not rejoice that the spirits submit to you, but rejoice that your name is written in heaven. Luke 10:17 through 20, the New International Version. Blood of the Lamb by me, George Lewis Cook III, September 11th, 1983.